Lars Mikkelsen's not like a fat guy or anything, but whether it's just he was a little out of shape for this, whether it was the uniform, whether it was his posture, didn't look good.
Who said he had the posture of a seahorse?
I think Razor Fist.
That was so good.
This is a seahorse. This is a seahorse too. And so is this.
Nerdrotic.com.
It's this repeated pattern we see, Ryan, all with every Disney Star Wars show and every Disney Marvel show. It's when it starts, yay, you're just a hater. And then we get to like the key jangling episode. People go fucking nuts. And then the series finished and all of a sudden it's just dead silence. It's back to, oh, that really did suck and it was nothing. And like, how many times do we have to go through this? Like, Anakin just came back a year ago, and people are acting like this is the first time he came back.
The phrase "peak Star Wars" has been like thrown around so much. And it's like, is peak Star Wars now just when it makes a reference to itself?
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah,
a long time ago in a galaxy far, far... Oh, fuck off, you stupid.
Like peak Star Wars to me is when George Lucas took inspiration from a lot of different things that he thought were cool or interesting and made something that was very unique. And then I know a lot of people didn't like the prequels, but the prequels absolutely were still a very creative thing that he did. He brought in all new ships, all new species, like continued to build out the universe. To me, that's peak Star Wars, not copying something that you know is going to make people go, I remember that.
I do have a bone to pick with you guys because X-Ray Girl emailed me when she booked me on this show, and she said, I need you to watch the entirety of freaking Ahsoka before you come on the show. And I suffered through the entire thing, and I watched the whole thing in 2 nights, and I was like slapping myself to keep myself awake through this like monstrosity of a show. So I have thoughts. I'm outraged.
So the first 15 minutes we're leading up to, because these are people searching for Thrawn, as is not wrong. And about halfway through the episode, we finally get Thrawn, but it's after like this brutal long period of just like fucking nothing. They're inside the stomach of a fucking star whale. So there's 2 like reunions. We got Thrawn and Sabine, and then we have Sabine and Ezra, and they're both like nothing. The Sabine Ezra reunion was a fucking joke.
That was really rough.
Compare it to, I don't know, Jon Snow and Sansa when they see each other for the first time after being apart for the entire season since season 1. Had the best reunion, absolutely best reunion. And then it's just like, hey, how's your weekend? It was like
it's so awkward.
Have you got any fucking blow on you by any chance?
Sabine fought off whatever the fake Sam
8.
people were. Like how many people did she fight off by herself?
It was like 5 or 6.
5 or 6 by her fucking self. She's not super powered, by the way. She's got Beskar arm, but she's
got Beskar, which is kind of
hit in the back of the head.
And then the 3 guys decided to stop shooting at her and just go at her with a bunch of sticks.
That's
as
right.
soon as she pulled out the lightsaber.
As soon as she pulled out the lightsaber,
everyone forgets that they have guns, and then they just.
So it was
0 hits.
so freaking forces female, right? Because you couldn't have Ezra. Somebody pointed this out. It wasn't me, but you could have had Ezra save her. No, wait, we can't have Ezra save her because that's a man saving a woman, so that won't happen. So she has to save herself, even though the dog threw her off, which was probably the funniest scene in there, by the way. I thought that was funny. But everything else, like, this show is nothing, and I'm going to keep comparing it to One Piece. Think of the 7th episode, the girl with the swordfish tattoo. You get so much plot in that entire fucking episode. You find out that what Nami was doing, and by the end, they resolve it in a single episode. Like, it's got depth, it's got character arcs, and this one, we haven't gotten a tenth of what's in that one episode throughout this entire series. It's just
not even close.
Drawing shit out.
I got to ask Joel, since he watched this entire thing, all 6 episodes, kind of binged it. Do you have any idea what Thrawn was supposed to be or what the buildup was? And did you feel satisfied with this reveal of Thrawn?
Oh my gosh, no! It was so like okay. So, for first of all, the whole thing, watching it back to back to back, binging it is excruciating because the whole thing is slow. I know we've been over that, but it's almost like. I feel like everyone involved in this show, including the actors, the writers, the photographers, like the cinematographers, every single person involved in this show is like on a heavy sedative. Like they're all on SSRIs and maybe some alcohol with some hormonal birth control like thrown in there. And like none of them like know how human beings act. Like the reunion between Sabine and Ezra, she risked the safety of the entire galaxy to save this guy, and it's just awkward. There's no emotion there. It's like they're so desperate to make it a platonic relationship because you can't have an empowered female woman. If she's in love or if she has a crush on this guy, that wouldn't be empowering. So it's just got to be platonic, and they got to make it so Ezra's totally cool with being in the friend zone. So they just like have this awkward hug. It was so bad. I hated it.
I swear to God, I thought I was gonna see those little shell boys, like those little creatures that hang out in the shells. I thought they're gonna start singing like, you know, you wanna kiss the girl.
Oh my
It's
god.
like they act like an awkward couple who hooked up a while ago, and they're pretending they didn't.
Yeah.
Yes. A couple big problems with this episode. It
Not in the
takes Sabine an hour. Like, she goes to a new galaxy on a new planet.
I know.
The thing she had to lead her to Ezra, or the last known location, which they make it clear they move all the time, gets destroyed immediately. She happens to run in to this little weird turtle crab fucking freak who happens to live with Ezra. Like,
Because
it's
plot.
the dumbest, most cartoon bullshit possible. Like, nothing that you have to go through to find Ezra. It's literally just complete happenstance on a entire planet. It's insane that's how easy it was.
We've had 6 episodes or 5 episodes of trying to find Thrawn. They found him. Then they looked for someone else.
Yeah.
And they found him. That was it. It was like fucking stupid.
Joel, I'm going to go out on a limb. Didn't watch all of Rebels. You didn't watch all of Clone Wars. Did you watch them all the way through? No.
No, I started them. I didn't finish them.
So it must have been like very hard to care about any of these characters at all watching this cold. I
Yes,
can't
but
imagine.
with good writing, you should be able to do that.
Yes.
I mean,
Right.
writers can make you attached to a character and care about somebody within a few lines if you do it right. That's why I keep saying there's no excuse. I mean, Disney should be able to have access to good writers. Who is writing this?
I care about Balin's character. I like.
Yeah, he had some terrible lines in this episode, though, sadly.
So-
It repeats again and again and again.
Okay, we get it. There's mystery around him. You need to start establishing what it is. You know what I mean? We've been interested, we've been intrigued by what he's continuing to say, but with the very ambiguous references, it's like, hey, we've had the teaser. We need you to tell us something substantive now.
Well, especially when you're at episode 6 of an 8-episode series. But this episode was just filler, by the way. Ray Stevenson has great presence. He's a great actor, a great character actor. I think people like the idea of him, but his character is a big fucking nothing. He hasn't told us shit. He's a former Jedi, survived Order 66, one of many now.
He's like Daenerys. He wants to break the wheel,
He
Gary.
wants to break the wheel. Okay, how?
Who knows what they're going to do? Personally, they have to do something that is substantial in this galaxy. Otherwise, there's no point in making it another galaxy instead of just unknown regions, uncharted space.
Hey, things are going to jump off in the next series, whatever that is. Things are really going to jump off. Okay.
One of the biggest failings for me in this show is, it's the antagonist. They're trying to build up and say Thrawn is this big bad guy. He's a wet fart when we're introduced to him, and all he has is a Star Destroyer. And I'm thinking, why is he such a big threat to the galaxy? They haven't established anything in the show, and there might be something in the extent, Rebels, whatever, but they shouldn't have to rely on external source material for this story to make sense. And they have given no reason to explain why Thrawn is such a threat. I mean, he's an admiral. Okay, I'm sure there's other admirals that are left over from the Empire. Like what? Why is he any different to the Imperial Remnant that's already actually in the galaxy still?
It's his red eyes.
I think it's because he kind of looks like Elon Musk, and that's enough.
He's going to buy the Empire and rename it to X.
But his Star Destroyer is dilapidated. So we got a single Star Destroyer, and this is the guy who's meant to rekindle the war. This guy who looks like he's been fucking living in a Dunkin' Donuts for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how are we meant to even take Thrawn seriously? The first thing he did is go, "Hi, Sabine. I remember the last time we met. You fucked me over.
Yeah.
Bye. Here's some supplies. Here's your weapons. Here's your lightsaber. Go off and find him. You two Jedi, you go after him. But I thought you were going to reunite him with Ezra. I am. Oh. Okay. Isn't something meant to happen now? No. I mean, we just pretend that I'm not, but I actually am.
Yeah.
Right? And then what? Crabs? What, dog? Space dog? I don't know what's going on. And then he gets some twat on Twitter going, well, clearly, you just don't understand what's going on.
Thrawn is such a unique villain, and there's a reason that ever since the Thrawn trilogy back in 91, Heir to the Empire, that people have been a big fan, that he's had a big fan base, and that they've decided to roll him out, that they brought him back into canon. It's because he is such an interesting villain. It's because he's so he can see ahead, right? He really never gets beat because he makes a fucking mistake or something. It's always a happenstance or something that you couldn't possibly foresee happening. That's not easy to write as a character, especially when you're Dave fucking Filoni and you're doing cartoon level shit. But the base that you can have, if you're going to debut Thrawn in live action, all these people that are watching that have no idea who the fuck this is, but they've been told they really need to fear him or be intimidated by him. The appearance that he has when he walks in there, it's laughable. He looks like he's slouching. He looks a little bit overweight. His uniform looks completely rumpled and shit. And I see a lot of people arguing, well, he should be in his late 60s or 70 in this timeline. Okay, let me show you from Rebels, right? This is who they established this character is. This would probably have been taking place, I don't know, 13 years before this happened. Maybe we're a little bit fuzzy on the timelines. But this is Thrawn, which he would have been in his mid to late 50s here.
Yeah, well, he didn't discover Dunkin' Donuts then.
No, he's training. He fucking is like very concerned.
He's very fit.
He's very fit. He's very concerned about his martial prowess, and he's very concerned with how people view him and making sure that there's nothing that anyone could ever hold against him, that he is like the perfect fucking admiral because he's a non-human in an empire that's fairly xenophobic, right? So people have been doubting him because he's not human.
Disney can't portray a powerful, formidable man. All their male characters have to be slightly pathetic in some way, even if it's a gut or like it's just like baked into Disney at this point.
Balin's the only character that has exhibited any masculinity. The 2 minutes that we got with Ezra, he just looked stoned off his fucking tits. Like he'd just come up from the Bay Area and was desperate for another fucking fix of fentanyl or some shit.
He just came back from Burning Man. That's what well, whatever they do, what they're lacking, we've talked about this before, is male energy. There's no male. Dave Filoni does not bring any male energy. Okay, that's a guy. I doubt he's ever ran in his life.
Oh my gosh, how unfair!
There's a big hint in this episode when Thrawn is talking.
Yes,
Thrawn is talking to Morgan Freeman. And he mentions that the Jedi and the Night Sisters both fake death all the time. It's a common ruse. I'm paraphrasing. They are setting up the Emperor. They have been setting up the Emperor since the beginning of The Mandalorian. Ryan, you talked about this. The whole clone project with little baby Yoda is all part of, bringing back the Emperor. So we're going straight towards the Disney trilogy. Like, without a doubt. They're not changing course, which is insane. Think about it.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.
Hey, if you like what we do here at Nerdrotic Daily, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you could do that with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I do.